The American Civil War was about slavery. I know I'm really going out on a limb there. Sure, there were complex issues and events that led to the firing of the first shot. But I want to talk about the false argument that I hear far too often in casual discussions with friends, coworkers, relatives, that slavery was not the cause of the Civil War, it was states' rights. I'm going to talk today, I'm going to read excerpts from speeches given by prominent members of the Confederate States of America. One given by the Vice President of the CSA just days before shots were fired at Fort Sumter. Another is really a sales pitch from a native Georgian asking his brethren to come join us, secede, join the CSA. Alexander H. Stevens was vice president of the CSA. Speaking to an overflow crowd in Savannah, Georgia, he said the following: "The new Constitution has put to rest forever all the agitating questions relating to our peculiar institution, African slavery as it exists among us. The proper status of the Negro in our form of civilization. This was the immediate cause of the late rupture and present revolution." He continued. "The prevailing ideas entertained by most of the leading statesmen at the time of the formation of the old Constitution were that the enslavement of the African was a violation of the laws of nature, that it was wrong in principle, socially, morally, and political. It was an evil they knew not well how to deal with. But the general opinion of the men of that day was that somehow the institution would be evanescent and fade away. These ideas, however, were fundamentally wrong. They rested upon the assumption of the equality of races. This was an error. Our new government is founded upon exactly the opposite idea. Its foundations are laid. Its cornerstone rests upon the great truth that the Negro is not equal to the white man. That slavery, subordination to the superior race, is his natural and normal condition." In the newspaper report, this paragraph is followed by the parenthetical statement, "Applause." Speaking of the Confederate States, he continues, "With us, all of the white race, however high or low, rich or poor, are equal in the eye of the law. Not so with the Negro. Subordination is his place. Our Confederacy is founded upon principle in strict conformity with these laws. This stone, which was rejected by the first builders, is become the chief of the corner, the real cornerstone in our new edifice." Again, applause. William L. Harris was a native Georgian who had moved to Mississippi, ultimately being appointed to their highest court. So it was natural when Mississippi seceded from the Union, he was sent to address the Georgia legislature and try to encourage that state to secede and join them in the CSA. Picture that for a moment. Harris is not trying to justify their decision. They feel righteous in their brave action. He's not telling a neutral observer. He's selling. He's desperately trying to get his brothers to join him. He tells his version of the truth in exactly the way they are yearning to hear, because that's what great salespeople do. Mr. Harris says, "Our fathers made this government for the white man, rejecting the Negro as an ignorant, inferior, barbarian race, incapable of self-government, and not, therefore, entitled to be associated with the white man upon terms of civil, political, and social equality. Mississippi is firmly convinced that there is but one alternative: this new union with Lincoln, Black Republicans, and free Negroes without slavery, or slavery under our old constitutional bond of union, without Lincoln, Black Republicans, or free Negroes either, to molest us." and as if to demonstrate his hatred of black slaves literally, and I really mean literally, not figuratively, knows no bounds, Harris says of Mississippi, she had rather see the last of her race, men, women, and children immolated in one common funeral pyre, than see them subjected to the degradation of civil, political, and social equality with the Negro race. You don't hear people talking about burning their friends, relatives, and neighbors to death because they don't like some tax policy from Washington. It was slavery, plain and simple. Why would I bring this topic to you today? In doing so, I had to give voice to the foulest words to ever pass my lips. I did it in a group that shouldn't have to put up with this language. Why am I, as the expression goes, preaching to the choir? Because we are in an era when our hatred can seem the state of normalcy today. And while states' rights is truly a real thing, as we witnessed just last week in sparring between Donald Trump and Andrew Cuomo, I believe we are all going to hear more examples of seemingly refined analysis claiming that hateful and bigoted statements are about freedom and, yes, states' rights than about prejudice. Hang on to these stories I've told today. Use them as verbal hammers to nail shut the coffin of 1860 forever. Madam Toastmaster, thank you.